Happy New Year to everyone. Hello, my name is Chuck. I am the proprietor of Purrfect Day Cafe with locations in Louisville, Kentucky, as well as Covington, Kentucky, which is in Cincinnati. So I wanted to wish everyone a Happy New Year. This podcast is all about cafes. This is all about adoptions, shelter impact, and how we as a society can build a community around these missions in order to ultimately make a difference. This is a social enterprise model. We are social, and I actually call it experiential social enterprise model. So we're here to try to make sure. I'm here with John, by the way. Come here, John. Come on. John, by the way, is a lovable kitty. He's adoptable here. His nickname is Sir Hump-a-Lot. He got separated from everyone, so now we're upstairs in the podcast studios / Purrfect Day Nursery and Fostering Center. And John is going to be separated in timeout until he learns how to play nice with the girls. So anyway, this podcast today is something that is personal to me. My mission when I started the Cat Cafe was really to try to build a legacy, kind of come up with a concept of how I could start a business, but how I could also make an impact on our community and like I said, kind of leave a legacy. And so it's very personal to me. I am an entrepreneur, have been since I was about 24 years old. I am 53, so you're never too old to start up a new business and all that fun stuff. And now I get to be with cats like John. I'm an animal lover and a cat lover, of course, and probably prefer cats, but animals and making an impact on my community is really what my mission is about. So I thought today, in this New Year's Day, it's not actually New Year's Day, but it's in January, I might give you a little bit of a summary of what we've been able to do in year 4. I say we, obviously, I am going nowhere without a team. If you are an entrepreneur, you understand that. And so always a shout out to the people who enable me to live my dream. The other one is part of that team is all of our shelter partners that we have in both locations. They are the heroes, as I call them. They do thankless work, and it is difficult work, and it is emotional work, as is ours. But it's worth it when we're able to make an impact. So that's kind of what I'm here to tell you a little bit about what it is that we do. So I set out about 5 years ago, and I knew when I did this Cat Cafe, I wanted to be able to express the impact through a vision of how we were going to make that happen. And it's important when you do start a business that you have a real value differentiators, what it is that you are going to, what is going to be the niche within your cafe. Like what is it that you do that others do not do? And so we set aside trying to create goals, as we call kitty performance indicators, KPIs. And in those, we wanted to do 3 main things. We wanted to rise up the adoptions in our community, and hopefully beyond what anybody can imagine. We wanted to also have an impact on the shelter, which is a little bit unique. So an obvious impact is when we do adoptions. When you do those adoptions, it clears room for the shelters, and then the shelters can help their community and everybody that calls up and say, I need to surrender this cat, I found these kittens. So, and then last but not least, something a little bit different for us as well too is community. And when I say community, it's not just your standard, everyone here in Louisville, Kentucky, everyone in Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati. It was about the community of animal lovers and a mindset. People have a mindset, and I think that's new in the past probably 5 to 10 years. People are much more likely to do business with people who were businesses that make an impact. So that's where our social enterprise model came in. We take, the staff is generous enough when we donate 50% of the tips. We also do some in-kind donations as well. We do a ton of gift baskets for charities that are doing silent auctions. And we want to be a place where people kind of come in and funnel in their passions, funnel in their funds, their donations, and that's where we come in. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of a summary. 2022, we're coming out of the COVID. So many disruptions. It was, I don't see how, if you didn't have business experience like myself, that you survived. Many, I won't say many, but some of the cat cafes did not. Many of the restaurants did not. Many of the experiential vertical. So that's something that I'm redefining. I think there's like, if in your community you have throwing axes or you have escape rooms, these are things for people to do. And I call ourselves the new movie. And that was the date. Back when old man me is going out on a date, hey, I'll take you to a dinner and a movie. And now it's an experiential thing and a movie as well too. So that's what we try to do. We try to create an amazing experience here. We know that when we create that experience and a lot of people come in from the community, we're going to attract people that love animals, don't think that they have room, and then they fall in love with someone. And it was funny because I was discussing this with Paws Rescue out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, and she says, "Why are you holding all these cats? Why are you?" And I'm like, "Because people are walking in and they literally don't even have." Hello. All right, there was a dramatic pause. They literally don't even have a litter box, so they can't take home today, and that's what we're here for. So in 2022, it was a struggle. Yes, it was, but we stayed very, very much on pace and did something that this cafe is starting to get known for. If you've ever heard me, I brag about our numbers because I feel as if I'm bragging about our community. The community is supporting us. They're supporting our shelters. They're supporting our cats. In Covington, Kentucky, again, 2.5 years old there, they did 1,136 adoptions. That is just amazing, you all. That means that 1,136 spaces were created for people who are in trouble, for cats that are found on the side of the road and dumpsters. And we try not to tell the negative story here because it is a reality. And we want to try to feature how much of an amazing animal how much of a great fur end they can make for a long time. I'm not scripting this. This is real. So he might be a little overstimulated, so we'll see where that goes. In Covington, 6 of the 12 months, we actually did 100 or more adoptions, which is amazing. The average kitten stays less than 2 days. The average teenager, which is 6 months to a year, stays 3.79. And the average adult, 5.7 days, you all. That is just incredible. 5.7 days. That's ticklish, John. It's ticklish. And so of the 1,136. In Louisville, now again, 5.5 years, you all, or 4.5 years, going on 5 years, it'll be in August. We're established here. I mean, again, both teams are amazing. They make sacrifices. 1,700 cats exactly. And that is just slightly under what we did in 2021. And believe it or not, 2022 was like 1,820, I think. So COVID, if there was anything good about it, homeless animals found a place. So in Covington, in Louisville, a little bit different. The kittens stayed there a little bit longer, 2.5 days. The average teenager was there 2.61, but you all, adults only stay here 3.71 days. And if you are a shelter in rural communities and you hear how long does an adult happen and you're feeling sorry for them, and 3.7, under 4 days to get adopted is just, it's unheard of. And again, it is, that's nice. They're not declawed. That's anyway. That is just an amazing number. That is because a lot of people are coming in here, and that's one of our secrets. And trying to make this a destination is so important to be able to do that. Now, to give you kind of an idea of how many people come to the cat cafes, if you're new to this kind of concept and you're like, all right, well, how many people can come there that are adopting? That's not really what this is. We're trying to make sure that people understand, again, that we're building this community location that you can have, that you can help. You can either socialize, you can donate, you can volunteer, all those kind of things. If you can buy a beer, save a cat, is what we call it. And we are really trying to transform the mindset of our community So they understand that when they come here, they are helping. And yes, some of it goes to the cafe, and we pay our team, and we pay our lights, and we pay our bill. But in 2022, Louisville had 27,295 visitors coming into this cafe. The reality of it is it's probably closer to 30,000. This is only people who have gone into visiting the cats, either to socialize them or to adopt. And there are people who come by all the time, just buy a drink and don't actually go in. So yeah, close to 30,000 people visit here. And our Covington location, much newer, is so many people that haven't even heard about us, which is why I need your help to continue to subscribe to this channel, share, and go to one of our cafes or even go to our social media and tell your friends about it. Tag them, let them know, hey, let's take a girls trip, let's do a date night, let's hang out there, get a beer. Please help us. Again, that's part of our mission, is building that community. 21,713. So really, somewhere around 23,000 people coming into downtown Covington. It's a very historic area. It's amazing staff there, get amazing reviews. And thank you all so much if you have visited one of those locations. If you know anything about our business model, getting people in is very good for business. It is a numbers game, as people say in business. And what that really means is that the more numbers we get in there, then the healthier the cafe is, and we can reinvest back in the things that it takes for people to come in. But this is in direct parallel with the number of adoptions, which is why I think this cat cafe does, the Louisville Cafe does more than any other cafe in the country. And the Covington Cafe, for all intents and purposes, there's no reporting and all that good kind of stuff, but they are probably number 2 through number 5, somewhere around in there. Am I still on here? So anyway, I'm very proud of that. Hopefully we build a great experience. I call the team the Purrfect team. And these are people who have taken this job because they want to make a difference in their community. They're typically animal lovers, right, John? Right, Sir Hump-a-Lot? And they do over and above what it takes in order to make that happen. And I do appreciate them. So what we also do, we talk about it. That's what our adoptions are. And beyond that as well, too, we donate. So at the Louisville location, we have donated $14,762, Covington $10,500. And I have had the privilege recently of going to some rural shelters. This has become, in year probably 3 and 4, my passion of this. It's the impact piece of it. So if you are out there right now and you're in a big community, you probably know your shelters. You probably know what it is that they can do, how it is that they can help. There's many nonprofits. There's nonprofits that support the shelters. But if you are in rural parts of communities in Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio, which is where all of our cafes are located, I've visited these shelters. Now, these people are real sacrifices. It's amazing. I'm literally going into small communities that the zoning allows it. They will gut a house and put cages and vet stations and whatever not that they can. You'll see, I've gone into small rural areas where they make bourbon. And the bourbon tours that go on here, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but Louisville, Kentucky, and even Northern Kentucky has a lot of bourbon in there. Some of those distilleries are out in rural parts of Kentucky where, they used to run the bourbons and all that fun stuff, moonshining. And so that is out there, and it's wonderful. They get a lot of visitors, but there's also a lot of strays. And those folks do their darndest to make sure that whatever they can, they do, but they can't get them adopted there. It's a different culture there in some of the rural parts. And so what do they do with the cats? And we all know the answer to that. That's a whole nother podcast, but we want to avoid that. We really want to avoid that. So now that the word has gotten out that the Purrfect Day Cafe has room, and we've been asking, we have literally on some occasions been low on cats. So we have to just keep reaching and reaching and reaching. And so now Between both locations, we're talking somewhere between 80 and 100 unique shelters that feed our primary shelters that then bring the cats to us. Remember, everybody's been vetted out, spayed, neutered, microchipped. Make sure that they're all vaccinated and cared for in the proper way. So if you're adopting from our cafe, you have confidence that we've done everything we can, but that doesn't mean we can control Mother Nature. So on that note, again, 80 to 100 different shelters feed our cafes in order to get that 1,136 and 1,700 adoptions. Overall, I'm going to be super excited. By March or April, we should reach 10,000 adoptions as an organization in 5 years because we've added Covington. And then this location here is probably going to be about a year and a half. So August of next year, we're likely to break into 10,000 for one individual cat cafe. So do your research if you can. Talk to shelters and everything. That is a lot of That's a lot of cats, which is amazing. And but the shelter impact is something that I have been very passionate about. And I bet you of the 6 shelter visits that I've done, every one of them, there's somebody crying at the end of it because they see these cats, they get to know them, they go to the cafe, they follow our social media, they see them introduced, and then they see the adoption update of some of them going home in literally an hour. But in many cases, like I said, 3 days and just a little bit over that in Covington as well for adults, which is we're in adult season right now. And then we switch over to kittens sometime in June. And although kittens get adopted much faster, it's about 7 times as many. And it's just equally important to be able to provide the adoption numbers for that. So as a part of this, again, we're trying to build that experience. And this is where I'm kind of shouting out to you all again, subscribe, follow, share, all that fun stuff. I'm looking for suggestions. I'm looking for ways and questions that you might have in order for the Purrfect Day Cafe, and for that matter, for other cat cafes that watch this, how can we get better? How can we help you all as a community? One of the things that we do is a tremendous amount of events. And those events are great, but remember, they're only 1 hour long, and it's 15, 16 people at a time. But we're trying to really, again, trying to bring in people to find this location as amazing and then continue to come back. But we do pajama parties, wreath making, candle making, yoga, Purr Paint Sip. Do a lot of kids classes, something a little bit different for us. But I want to shout out to Miss Sweeney and Miss Kaylee and Miss Liz. All of them have an event that they do. Thanks, John. That's a lot of stuff that they do. How about I just do this? I'm going to carry for a little bit. But anyway, we do a lot of these at different events, and they make a huge impact on the community coming in and the number of people that are exposed to the cafe. On top of that, we have all this new apparel. We've got new sweatshirts, new fanny packs, new scrunchies, new stickers, new keychains. We like to keep a lot of our apparel just kind of focused up on the cafe itself. We don't do a lot of, maybe I would call cat-themed items that are, just in general lifestyle items. It's all about what we can do in order to build enthusiasm for the cafe. We are branding here. We're branding the experience. We're branding everything we can in order to make sure our kitties, everybody has a place to come in order to see our kitties so our kitties get adopted. Made a lot of different great facility upgrades here and trying to, again, continue to build up this channel. We added YouTube. We added TikTok. We did some fun things with some videographers and social influencers and you name it. I think our vision, our focus for the future is going to be a lot more in spreading the word of what this experience can be. I'm making some room for John. and how we can make that impact. And where my passion is, if I can just influence everybody, if I can influence everybody to understand that when you go to a cat cafe or you go to a shelter, first and foremost, money. Not so much cafes, but the shelters. If they can have unrestricted money so they can do adoptions, they can do fun things, around the cafe, around the shelters. They can upgrade, transport, medicines. So make sure you're in there figuring out how you can help out. But if you're listening to this today, you're from out of town, make us a road trip. Make any cat cafe a road trip. They love it. They love talking to different people for different places. And believe it or not, we kind of know a little bit about each other, so we try to sell each other as well too. And beyond that, we are excited to extend these channels and extend our virtual reach and make sure that you feel educated about what you can do for these shelters, for these kitties, expand our community. So that is Purrfect Day Cafe 2022. Little bit of our updates. And again, if you are out watching this right now and you have been to this cafe, maybe you've adopted from the cafe, we want to thank you all. And we still want to push you. We want to push you to participate even more and help out babies like John or Sir Hump-a-Lot and give us the resources that we need to continue to make an impact and have a business with a purpose and a job with a purpose. Thank you all so much for sharing and liking. Please make some comments. I haven't really said that in some of our videos, but make some comments. Let me know what I can do. Let me know what questions you can ask. And then I'm going to be a lot more consistent about cutting these at least once a week. If you want them more often, let me know. I'll have to redo my job description and tell everybody I'm going to take off a little bit more. But we're enjoying this, and we're going to continue to, even in the future for 2023, going to go to other cat cafes, do some videos there, and talk to you a little bit more about the community. That's a whole nother video for another time, and we're looking forward to having you all back on our channels, and you all make it a perfect day. Say bye, John. I'm getting a little nervous around in my hand. Bye-bye now.